If you're a geek, have a listen. We got the news, this week's submission. Talking movies, games, TV, and comics. Turn it up, Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks pod. Feel the Geeks. You're listening to the Feel the Geeks podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 226 of the Field of Geeks podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Jonah.
I'm Bill.
How's it going, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much better audience than last time.
It's going very well.
Yes.
good.
Yes. Very well.
Been a long January.
Yes.
We're finally through it.
Yeah, you know what? I was so, ready for the holidays to be over.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, January, I finally get to relax and all that. And then it's just
Yeah.
done.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I got to go get a Valentine's present.
See, for me, it was like January 42nd. And I was like, oh, when is this month going to be over?
Oh,
Well, before we kick things off, we got quite a bit to talk about. Jonah's gonna.
Yeah, what are we drinking tonight? We have from our non-sponsors
Yes.
over at Barntown. This is called Mischievous Grin. Have you ever had this? Have you ever had this?
I have not.
No? Okay.
I like the can. It's.
I like it. Now,
your cat up.
is this a beer you can currently get, or is this from your stock of
my
years
stock.
past?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this might not even
So
be
there might
available now.
cobwebs
Not even.
coming out of it.
Yeah.
and- yeah.
It does say that it is best by January of 2023.
Oh shit! So this would be really potent.
Let's see. It is a gluten-free sour with plum, blueberry, tangerine, and milk sugar. The fuck is milk sugar?
I don't know, but it sounds like I'm going to be praying to the porcelain goddess tonight.
Let's hold on. I'm gonna sniff the can before I
It's
pour.
fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. That might be
All right.
okay.
Maybe I will get a case of new beer from Barntown from us drinking this old stuff. The peanut butter and jelly, though, I think that was pretty.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I think I drank way more of that than you and Billy.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Because at one point Billy went to grab the can and pour himself somewhere. I was like, I
it
think
was
it's
like
gone.
the 2 drops.
I think someone drank the rest of
Yeah.
it. Slush.
What happened?
You don't want to be embarrassed. All right, guys.
All right. Cheers.
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 Oh,
Didn't
not that
bother
bad.
me.
No, it's not that bad.
I like it.
Oh,
It's not pumpkin.
it made me tear up.
What's this character from?
Was that a character?
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the
right.
Cheshire
Yeah.
Cat.
Okay. God, sorry.
Good thing we're not on a Disney podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. You want to be on a Disney podcast?
Oh,
Fuck
man.
no.
Oh,
Disney
Bill,
girls
You want a little more?
me out. There we go. I can't really say that because Jen's a Disney girl, but whatever.
Your secret's safe.
Yeah.
Unless she watches this, and then it's not.
Shit, she doesn't watch it. I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. Well, I know you two love award shows.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so maybe you guys got the stuff in the reserve and I got the fresh stuff.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm digging it. It's not.
my nose hairs were
Gotta dry
whispering.
my eyes. Oh, all right.
Oh, it's
Continuing on.
well, you'll need this for.
I'm gonna keep drinking it too. That's I'm just
Yeah.
that kind of a dipshit where it's like
Yeah,
I'm the guy
Oh,
where
yeah, of course.
something smells really bad. I
it's horrible.
sniff it
Yeah.
more than
More.
once. If it's some taste bad, I'll keep drinking it.
Well, as we're talking to our icebreaker, yeah, you probably will want more. The Grammys, guys, that was recent.
Yeah.
Did your favorite person win?
I don't know. Okay, that is
Beyonce won. I know that. Cowboy Carter.
that is music awards, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Forgive me, audience. I fucking hate awards shows.
Might be audiobooks too. I'm not quite sure.
audiobooks.
Maybe.
Is that the
fuck?
thing?
I think you can get a Grammy for that.
I know.
We'll have our fact checker, me, throw this up.
I know our high school won a Grammy for something.
EGOT. You get an EGOT. Yeah.
Who won a Grammy?
Our high school.
Your
Valley
high school. Who
Valley High School. Yeah,
What?
exactly. Who?
won a Grammy for what
Just,
and when?
Best
I don't know.
Macarena rendition.
sure.
That's
school
weird.
children in the park. I don't know.
I
I
don't.
don't know what the hell.
I do remember that now. Yeah, I had no part of that.
Here's what I know about the Grammys. I can sum it up very quickly. One is, I will not say that Beyonce's album was not a country album, but I will say it was not a good country album.
Yeah, it's a little different.
And I think that I don't know what happened with red carpet stuff when it used to be like, let's get dressed up in our best
Yeah.
suits
Like-
and beautiful dresses and go, and now they show up with like fucking sandcastles on their heads and completely nude, which I don't mind nudity,
No,
but
that's a weird
time and place.
Kind of.
And I don't think that the Grammys red carpet is the time and the place for that. And so it's become this weird thing where it just shows off Hollywood's mental illness and disassociation from all of fucking reality.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's
a lot of
such
yes
a
people, that's the
weird
problem.
It's
Like,
such
that
a
looks great.
weird
Yeah.
world that they live in, and it's sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Smith kids were there to support their dad because he's having a comeback at 60. He's having a new rap album come out. It's like based off true story. That's his album.
That's what it's called.
Well, it's based off. I don't know. That's the final title.
Can't wait to.
It's called
not
Slap.
buy- I can't. Can't wait to not buy it from the 99-cent bin.
with his one-hit single "Old Men in Black."
Yeah, well, he did a new song, "Beautiful Scars." It's Matrix inspired. I guess he turned that down in the day. He was going to be Neo.
Yeah.
He didn't see, I guess it being a hit possibly, or he also turned down Django Unchained, which, he couldn't have done that though. He couldn't have done what Jamie Foxx did in that film.
God,
I don't
no.
think. So yeah, you got that coming out.
If
There's
he'd
also
done Django Unchained, it would have been just more like Wild Wild West. than
Well, yeah, I
anything.
think people-
Yeah.
and I think that's probably what people would have felt like.
maybe that's what he felt too. Like maybe I
Maybe.
shouldn't do this. Maybe that good on his part. Yeah, because that would be. Yeah, it's kind of hard to shake that image and then be serious, But yeah, I mean he's doing fine. This is a comeback, but he had Bad Boys 4 came out and that was a hit. Made over $400 million with a $100 million budget, so he's doing pretty good. But obviously, I don't know. There's stupid rumor mill saying he's mad at Chris Rock now. It's like you're the one that hit him. So if
Gives
that's
a
true,
shit.
I don't know.
What's he mad at Chris Rock for? What'd Chris Rock do?
Because I mean,
No, I know he's a comedian. He makes
contributed
jokes.
to
Like I
his
get it, but
Smith's downfall. But it's like, dude, you're the
No,
one.
it
that
was
got
his own
him.
actions that did that.
This is if it's true, but I could see that.
if he'd stayed in his chair
Yeah,
and kept his mouth shut and laughed like the rest of the audience,
did it first.
I
No
know.
one talks
And then
about
Jada
that.
Gave him that little
Yeah.
and if that's where it would have ended,
batshit crazy anyway.
so
Me see Naked Gun maybe got like triggered, like there's like a button and he just went ape shit. I don't know, but that was so.
I like
wild.
Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
You're like Naked
Well,
Gun.
living with her possibly. Yeah, I don't know, but he did like. I remember back then he invited Chris to come on their red table or whatever the hell it was to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
and Chris
the-
was like, "No, I'm good, thanks." Yeah, and I think maybe after that, it's kind of been in Will's head. Maybe if this is true, yeah, I could see Will's ego, having a grudge against Rock for all that. But it's like, dude, what the fuck? Probably because he was like, maybe he wished Rock would have like hit him back or immediately like talked to him or something just to kind of like settle it.
Well-
But I think it's because Smith's the only one reaching out to reconcile. That's why he's. If it's true,
Chris Rock doesn't know him a fucking thing.
no, he doesn't. I agree. That was embarrassing. He slapped him though. He didn't punch him. And a lot of people say he only did that because he knew he could take Chris Rock. He wouldn't do that to The Rock or any other big person because they would just
I'd love to see him get fucking knocked out. You know,
like a
Maybe-
Superman hit. Like he hits him. He's like, ah, shit, my hand.
maybe in a few years he can box Jake Paul or something.
I don't know. I got a bad. Yeah. I don't know. I still got a bad feeling towards him. It's like I haven't seen the last Bad Boys and I actually didn't see the one before that. It's weird, but you think I would by now.
I like him.
Yeah, I think he's still entertaining, but yeah, I don't know. The more you learn about their personal life, and
Well, yeah, that's why it's always
tough.
important. You have to
separate.
separate
Yeah.
the art from the artist sometimes.
Right.
I mean, did you guys on the last episode? Did you guys talk about like Neil Gaiman and the stuff about him?
No, not
That's
really
another
much.
example of like
that's tough, but yeah,
it is a tough
I
conversation
know.
to have for sure. It's another though example of like does knowing this about him detract from what he's contributed to
Right.
Yeah.
the comic book community or just writing in general with books like American Gods and Stardust I think was something that he'd written.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, does that detract from it? And the same, Kevin Spacey. People think the guy's a creep.
Yeah.
I believe he was not convicted of anything, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, but yeah, it's still
Ergo,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, I remember Siskel and Ebert, of all people, had this debate back when Hugh Grant got caught with that transvestite hooker or whatever it was.
Yeah.
which I think now that would just be a normal day in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You get like on the page of, in a good way,
Like,
front page
bless
of the
him for
magazine.
being so inclusive.
Yeah. But yes, I
I
think
remember them having an argument about separating.
I think it's always important to separate that out. And this is also why they say you shouldn't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
How many times have you met somebody, and I mean, especially if it's like a famous person, and you're like super stoked to meet them, and then you're just like, oh man, that was a fucking drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bummer. They've
Like, speaking of Neil Gaiman, like I will recommend if anybody watches the Doomcast. Yeah, nothing. He had a really good episode on it.
yeah, I'm
And
sure he did.
He said a lot of that same thing. Was like, I don't like what he did, but I, can still not like him and still like how his work made me feel.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like Tom Cruise, but I will watch Tom Cruise movies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't like.
Yeah, same.
You
If
know,
I had a chance to meet Tom Cruise, I absolutely wouldn't, but I'd still go and watch Top Gun Maverick 100 times.
Yeah,
over.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be trapped in a room with Kevin Spacey, but I will still watch Kevin Spacey movies.
Yeah.
A few more
I think,
sours, you might be.
A few more of these. He might not want. He might not want to be trapped with me.
I dropped the soap.
You're not locked in here. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here.
Get over.
Let me ask this.
Get over here, Kevin.
Okay, so, Neil Gaiman, his accusations, I think, are current, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get when people have done things in the past, it might be easier to move on and watch things that they later make. How do you feel about that? Like anybody who's come out with all this controversy, everything before you knew of it, like his work, like that's probably more forgivable. Like I can watch this, I can separate it. If they come back and make more, future projects, how would you be able to move on as easily?
I think it's hard. It's hard for me to say because there's really very few examples of that even happening.
Yeah.
Because and Will Smith is one of the few examples where he did, and that granted what he did is not on the same level obviously as what some of these other pedophiles do.
Right.
But and that might be why you're seeing him make a comeback because what you haven't seen Kevin Spacey make a comeback. You have not seen, in the comic book community, you've not seen Warren Ellis make a comeback and there was shit thrown at him. You have not seen, I don't know that you'll see Gaiman make a comeback. I don't know that he's...
Sandman's been canceled after season 2 on Netflix. I know that.
Yeah, but
which is shocking because you could move maybe because they don't want royalties going to them. Maybe for continuing.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then there was I've seen other instances where accusations have been thrown out, or things have been said, and people have been ganged up on. And there was a comic book artist last year who committed suicide because of things like that. And so I just think it's really, especially when you have like all of this access to like social media and public information, and it's such a very dangerous environment for those types of accusations to be thrown around. And I'm not saying that whether they are or are not without merit, it's still a very dangerous situation for all the parties involved, in my opinion.
But let's say they do have a comeback. Would you support it, you think? Or you think it would be hard to, knowing what you know?
I think it depends on the situation. Right. If you've got somebody who, let's say that there's all this proof and evidence and witnesses and just everything, and they're so adamantly in denial about it, like that's different than if it's somebody who's like, oh no, if they take responsibility for it and they're like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
This is that. I think that's a little bit of a different
It's genuine and
situation. And if they, maybe work to make amends, look at the guy that was cast as playing Kang and then cut. And then he's got another movie that I believe was filmed before all of this that's now going to be coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Is Jonathan Majors.
Yes, that's
so
that's settled. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even that's a little bit of a different situation where he was convicted of a third-degree misdemeanor.
Yeah.
And then, so he's been convicted. He's
Right.
on probation, so he's doing his time, so to speak.
Yeah.
Let the man make a comeback.
Right. Well, just like
In a situation like that. I mean, there are limits, right?
Right. Yeah. It's all. Yeah.
It's not like I wouldn't be
Case
like,
by case.
I would be like, oh yeah, Ted Bundy.
Right.
Yeah, let the man make a
I mean,
comeback.
you got your Roman Polanski's who
Right.
retreated overseas, makes films still. Woody Allen, that's kind of. I don't know what. Honestly, with that, I don't know what to believe. I feel like both parties are probably guilty of, falsehoods. I don't know.
He's just a skin crawly guy anyway.
Mel Gibson. He had a huge fall.
He had
and he's still trying to. I don't know if he's trying that hard to get back up there, but he's working.
He's still making movies,
projects,
and people are still watching his movies. I still watch his movies.
I still think he's lost fans, but I'll still watch his stuff because he did come forward and say, he made all these like plans to make things right, and I don't know if he did or not, but from most accounts, I've heard he's a real nice guy. So it's like I don't know.
Man, did you see his quote after, because he'd lost his house in those fires recently? Did you see his quotes about that?
I don't recall exactly what they
They
were.
were really they sounded really strange.
Yeah, he is kind of.
Where he was like, oh, all my stuff is gone. It was here and now it's gone. And George Carlin was here and something, and now that's gone. And I'm like, what are you talking about? George Carlin's been dead for fucking 20. How many years has Carlin been dead?
Right now, too. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He might have too many stem cells happening or injections. I don't know.
Hair plugs are like cutting into his brain.
He's got a spray tan.
Moral of the story is, kids, don't meet your heroes.
Right.
Think for yourselves.
On that scale, obviously, Will Smith. Yeah, that's not bad.
Forgive, but you don't have to forget.
Right. I know his kids were there to support him. Getting back to Will Smith, Jaden, he hasn't contributed to anything ever, and it's like I don't understand what is this. Like he showed up with it's actually like a Transylvanian inspired castle. It's made by this designer Abodi. Abodi. I don't know how you could say that.
If you can't pronounce it, you can't afford it.
But it symbolizes.
That's my saying.
It symbolizes audacity, fortitude, and it embraces the folklore and legends. So that's what that's all about. Willow looked nice until she smiled. She had these grills on her teeth, but it looked like she ate a salad and there was a leaf on it. It was like I don't understand these kids. I
don't think I saw. I don't know.
They have Jada for a mother. That's
Nepo babies, right? I mean, they are truly
Is Willow an actress too? What is Willow?
She kind of did some acting, but she has sung. I think she had an album. I don't deny they're not talented.
I gotta look her up. I don't know who this person is.
I'll deny that they're talented all day.
Well, it's just I think they're capable, but I don't. Just this whole shit and Jaden, I don't understand.
If they did it, if they went out and did it on their own, and learned how to do it on their own, that'd be one thing. But Will getting them projects just because, hey, their last name is Smith.
Yeah. But hey, Jaden.
See After Earth if you want a good example of that.
But Pursuit of Happiness, Jaden was great in that, and I liked him in Karate Kid. I have not revisited that film he made. He
was all right in that.
That was it though.
There's something about his face.
He just want to punch.
Yeah,
he's always got this pouty dog that just got.
That's what he had with his castle on his head. Maybe because he had the castle on his head.
He has this pouty look of a dog that just got yelled at for pissing on the carpet.
Yeah, Willow's teeth are gnarly in this picture.
Yeah,
are those birthstones?
Don't they look like she ate a salad or something?
I think that's Braces by Jelly Belly.
But do you guys follow Barstool Sports at all? Or familiar with it?
Not really.
No.
Anyway, this guy David Portnoy, he's got a big giant bobblehead at like Hy-Vee by like a
Yeah,
pack of beer.
I'm familiar with the.
Yeah, he does great pizza reviews. Aside from that, I don't really follow what he does. If you it makes you hungry. I love pizza. I love food, obviously. But he tweeted about Jaden's castle. He's like, either don't let him take that off, or he better wear that the whole night, or something like that.
Yeah.
I would be. How pissed would you be if you go
Behind
if you,
him?
You get a ticket to the Grammys?
Yeah.
And you're like stuck at the table behind him. And you're like, I
Yeah.
can't fucking see the entire stage.
Yeah.
Because of Castlevania is blocking my view.
That was that, and then Kanye West. He's weird, dude. I think he's pretty much done all he can do with music. I think he peaked, and that's about it. He's just all crazy now. And,
Dude, he peaked
yeah.
a long time
It was
ago.
good. It was good while it lasted, but his naked wife, like that's a weird like relation. Like she's like it's almost like she's like his slave or something, because she like put her back to she had like a mink coat on. She had her back towards the cameras, and he like nodded like it's okay, and then she took it all off, and then they got escorted out of there after that because she's naked. I mean, I didn't mind, but it's just like, what the fuck is this? You know, like
That's what I
this
said.
This
It's
isn't like
it's
a
such a
fashion
weird-
show. This
no.
is the Grammys, guys. Like,
Well, even that, I don't even think that would be considered avant-garde fashion.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
get
It's
ready
just
for the
weird.
Oscars. That's probably going to be another.
That's another one I don't
Shit
give two
fest.
shits.
And the other thing too that really bothered me about these displays is the whole banner behind them is all about the charity for the people who've lost their homes, the LA
Yeah.
fires, and
They're coming out in $500,000 dresses.
well,
Yeah.
there's that
Castles.
or non-dresses, and like
Yeah.
this is how you're
Yeah. There's a disconnect for sure.
Yeah, it's such a weird disconnect. I don't understand. My meager Midwestern brain, my middle class Midwestern brain cannot wrap my head around the lunacy
Right.
of some of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to some more controversy, if you want to call it that. There's a Superman teaser spot, and they did this cool like spin of him flying. He went through like a cavern or something, and the biggest takeaway from it from a lot of people, and yeah, it's kind of funny. I guess if you freeze frame, he's got one wandering eye after he makes his pass through it. A lot of people I've told you this before we recorded. They took Steve Buscemi's crazy eye character from one of Sandler's films and photoshopped it onto him.
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah,
I don't have the time on my hands to do that stupid bullshit.
Right.
And the fact that some people do, and it gets any sort of...
it's mostly for YouTubers who need like material, like that's
Yeah.
their livelihood. So
Yeah, there's like
It's so dumb.
yeah.
we'll get into that in a minute.
Who cares if for that one split second the dude's eye is looking left while his other eye's looking straight ahead?
He's Superman.
First
He
of all,
can do both.
He's flying through a cavern, so it may make sense to mind your peripherals.
You know what? I'll take a drifting eyeball as long as I don't get another Cavill's mustache.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, I missed that. I still haven't seen that movie yet.
I know, and of course there was the comparisons to Cavill. Like, yes, Cavill. Yes, I still think he's a great Superman, and he should have stayed. But this is our new guy,
I get it, but
and it's like we got to
fucking
move on. Yeah,
Like,
we're just gonna have to move on.
He's
but
not playing The Witcher anymore.
Yeah.
He's not playing Superman anymore.
He's gonna be
he's got-
Connor McLeod, Highlander.
Yeah.
That remake.
I'll take that.
He's a great actor who
good.
can do a lot more than just the two roles everyone's fangirling over.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he leaves on his terms too, except for the Superman. He did well. I don't know if he actually left. I don't think he did, but like, what was it? He walked away from The Witcher because I think he didn't like the way the story was going.
They
right?
weren't following the source material.
Yeah,
And
right. Good on him. Good on him.
I love that about him is he
Yeah.
won't do it if he's not passionate about it,
Yeah.
and he's a huge nerd.
He is.
Did you ever see that
And building a computer.
Guy Ritchie movie he did last year?
Funny story about that. I did go to the theater to see
yeah.
it.
I liked that movie.
We had a tornado touchdown, and that was the first time ever they've cut the film during all that. So they gave us like a refund. So I didn't get too far into it, but
That stinks.
last I knew it was on one of the streaming services. So I
Yeah,
do want
it's good. I liked it.
Catch it. I like Guy Ritchie films.
Yeah.
For the most part.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah, and he was with what's his face, Reacher, the actor.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's good in that too.
It's a brick shit house. I mean, they're both-
Alan
Yeah.
Richardson.
Yeah.
Richardson.
Yeah, sounds
Something like
right.
that.
Yeah.
You'd be a great Batman, I think. People have talked about that.
Oh, especially if you look at, the absolute Batman that is in comics right now. I mean, the guy's a fucking monster. I think he'd be a fantastic Batman.
Yeah, agreed. And they're comparing the shot. It sucks because I think they were really thrilled to show this to people. It was a cool maneuver. Yes, they've found they've kind of done similar ones in other films recently, but still, I thought it was still refreshing, especially given the color palette. Like, they're just all in on the color in this. I dig it. I'm sorry. I think we've done enough with the dark tones. Let's just...
Another life lesson, kids, other than don't meet your heroes, is don't be too excited about something because someone is going to piss all over it. Just because they can. You might be super excited about your sandcastle hat, helmet, but someone like me is going to shit on it. That's the internet, kids.
I think I know the answer to this, but should they fix that in CG post?
No, who cares?
Leave it in? Okay.
Yeah, leave it in.
If you got that,
who cares?
much time
You're watching that film in real time, at its regular
So
playing
fast.
speed. It is so fast. The guy's flying 600 miles an hour through a fucking canyon.
Yeah.
His eyes are going to be all over the place. Who cares?
Right.
Who cares?
It's not gonna, if that happens during the movie and that's what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
Then
They didn't
it's
do their
probably
job
not-
for one.
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and do the Leo DiCaprio meme or whatever every time I see something.
Right. I'm really digging Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
He looks good.
He does look good.
With those
looks
glasses,
good,
too.
yeah.
Those sunglasses. Badass. I think he was coming out of the Fortress of Solitude.
I love Nicholas Hoult. He's such a good actor.
Yeah, I was just watching. It's free on YouTube right now. About a Boy. That was his first movie.
Yeah, he was a kid in that.
Introducing- It actually says in the credits. But I'm like, wow, this guy has come so long. I never would have thought he would have became a big star because he disappeared a little bit. And,
Well, he went through that awkward, cute
nothing
kid, and then awkward, kind of maybe preteen teenager, and then
I think it might have been X-Men that brought him back into the stratosphere.
that was kind of the first thing that I remembered seeing him pop up in again.
But yeah, he delivers, and we'll talk about Nosferatu later. He's in that, of course.
He is.
Moving on to this is Wednesday, so by the time this comes out, or this is Tuesday, I'm sorry. By the time this comes out, it'll be a few days. So yes, it's brand new for us. It's brand new for the world. Fantastic Four, guys. The trailer launched this morning, super early. What was it, 7?
7 a.m.
Yeah.
I was watching the countdown at 6:45.
I know.
My wife's like,
Pictures.
"What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Countdown!" And she's like, she's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's the countdown to the Fantastic Four."
You
She's like,
dork.
She's like, "Do you even like the Fantastic Four?" And I was like, "Duh." I was like, "Okay, their movies have all sucked."
Yeah.
But I like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
So
the characters are always...
yeah.
There's aspects of each film I think has been kind of cool. But out of all those films, if you had to choose the previous ones, what would be the one you'd watch again if you had to watch one again?
I was gonna say the first one, but not the Roger Corman one.
Right.
The first one with Jessica Alba and
I would agree
Michael
with that.
Chiklis.
Story one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of count The Incredibles. You probably take The Incredibles over that, I guess. But
No.
yeah, no,
I'm not. Here's the thing. I don't know what happened to me, but at some point I've had a lot of trouble getting into animated movies. I love cartoons. Don't get me wrong, but
live action's where it's at for you.
much. Animated movies just don't really do it for me.
Yeah.
They used to.
Yeah, I get that.
So I would take live action over the animated.
Sure. So yeah, this we've seen photos, stills, a little video, kind of a test footage thing they did for was it San Diego when they had the Fantastic Car? Conventions. But yeah, let's get right into it, guys. Whoever wants to start first.
One character is featured very prominently in the trailer that I think looks fantastic.
Herbie?
No pun intended. Herbie does look good. Thing looks amazing.
Yeah.
I like the way he looks, and I really like that actor.
Yes.
And I really like how he sounds. I think a lot of people were expecting or wanting him to sound more like a Michael Chiklis. They wanting him to sound like gruff and I kind of like that he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because it's a good contrast to his appearance. I like the very World of Tomorrow in the 60s kind of retro feel that it has.
Really cool.
I was tickled pink when I did see Herbie, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Now,
And the fact that he wasn't replacing Johnny Storm like he did in the,
is that his
back in the
introduction
70s.
comics? Was he a replacement? Or?
I think he was so it was the cartoon, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure some fanboy out there is going to fillet me for this. There was a
Do the nerd
cartoon.
Actually,
There was like a Fantastic Four cartoon that didn't have Johnny Storm in it because Johnny Storm was in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Oh, okay.
And so it was the 3 Fantastic Four characters minus Johnny Storm plus Herbie was like the inclusion. He was like their snarf.
Gotcha.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
Again, I was not even born at that time, so bear with me.
Sure.
But I thought it was cool to see him included in this. I love, like I said, the feel of it. This is going to sound, however,
Did you cry?
it brought a tear to my eye.
Really?
When it was the line when he was talking about how, like if we hadn't gone up there the first time, so their origins already happened, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
He's like, you wouldn't be able to turn invisible and this and that. And she's like, listen here. She's like, Ben's always been a rock. Johnny's Johnny.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I've always been here. And that's when I was like, oh my God, it got me.
Yeah.
Right in the fucking feels.
That's awesome.
And so, and I know like early on, I was like not 100% sold on Pedro Pascal's casting as Mr. Fantastic. I'll eat crow on that. I'm going to do a complete 180
Nice.
because I think he's awesome. He's
I like
fantastic
him from the
as Mr.
start.
Fantastic. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
So
dig it. I think it's gonna be
it
great.
took a while for me to warm up to him just as an actor overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've gotten there
Yeah.
to where I've seen him in other things too now, and other
Yeah.
things too that I didn't even realize that he was in.
Sure.
Like as an example, like he was kind of a bit part in the Denzel Washington movies, the Equalizer.
Yes.
I totally didn't realize that was even him.
Gladiator 2.
So, I thought he was fantastic in Gladiator
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
So he was in Gladiator 2 what Eric Bana should have been in Troy.
yeah.
Oh, sure.
Like, because I think that's what the kind of similar feel, but
Yeah.
Eric, I thought, kind of failed at that, and
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal did not. So
He was
I
also
take it back. Pedro Pascal, you're fantastic. You're going to be an awesome Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, he was in Narcos. I didn't see him in that, but the very first thing I ever saw him in was Kingsman: The Golden Circle, I think it was called.
Which I haven't seen that yet.
It's a fucking acid trip of a film. I
It
like
took
the
me
first
forever
one
to watch.
better.
It took me forever to watch the first one.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
my
watch
favorite.
it.
The second
I
one
liked
gets
it.
off the
I really
rails.
liked the third one.
Yeah. The King's Man.
The King's Man. I
the
really liked
prequel,
that
whatever.
one.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he's like this Latino Burt Reynolds. It's just weird.
All right.
Like I get, especially if you see the Kingsman, he's got the cowboy hat. Like,
Yeah.
dude could be Bandit. Like, maybe bring that back. I don't know. If he can.
Smokey and the Bandit, starring Pedro
Yeah,
Pascal.
Love Child. I don't know.
The 1 or 2 second shot we got of Galactus.
Oh, dude, it's not a giant cloud. It's an actual 28 foot or however tall he is, dude.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say that drives me fucking nuts whenever a movie like this is coming out, we get the first trailer, is all those YouTube videos that are like 107 Easter eggs that you definitely missed in this 2-minute
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, no thanks.
Like, oh, there was this thing on the chalkboard, and that correlates to Kang the Conqueror, and blah blah blah. I'm like,
Now, we did not see Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
we didn't.
We did not see the Silver Surfer, which I'm interested to see what the Silver Surfer is going to look like,
I am too.
considering the actress
it's a
that's
female.
playing him.
She is a great actress, by the way.
She is a great actress.
Very small, but I mean, Silver Surfer is like probably doesn't matter how the size.
He's lean.
Yeah.
and,
Very lean character.
Yeah,
but she's a female version, which is in the comics, right?
Yes, there
Okay.
is female heralds of Galactus anyway.
Yeah.
And it's not like Silver Surfer has a penis, so who cares?
Right.
Yeah, not a Dr. Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Say that? That'd be awesome.
He hits them with.
So
shiny
I'm just interested to see like what they look, because I thought that was probably the best part of the Fantastic Four 2 movie, The Rise of the Silver Surfer.
sure,
I
yeah.
thought the Silver Surfer looked really good in that movie.
Yeah.
So
I think he looked fantastic. I don't think Lawrence Fishburne's voice
Didn't match.
matched up
Yeah.
too well for me.
yeah. Well, who was the actor that played?
Doug Jones.
It was Doug Jones.
Doug
Yeah.
Jones, yeah.
All right, that's what I thought.
What sucks is because when they were filming it, they said that they were going to use his voice, and so in post, that's when they changed it. Obviously,
To Larry's.
he was pissed.
Yeah.
But then Hellboy 2 made up for it because Hellboy again, he got replaced by David Hyde Pierce. Hellboy 2 was actually his voice. So
Yeah.
And Joseph Quinn, great Johnny Storm, I'd say.
Yeah, oh my god,
More mellow than Evan's version so far. You know, he's not too cocky.
yeah.
I mean, I get that's his character.
He
That's a
definitely
good casting for him.
Yeah, he definitely in the trailer anyway comes across as like somewhat like aloof.
Yeah.
And I like that he's not
Right.
super cocky that we'd seen. That was definitely a Chris Evans thing.
Yeah. Which was a huge worry when he got cast as Cap, because people were like, I don't want Captain America making wise jokes. And,
Right.
And to his credit, he played him straight, and it was great.
I think he made like one joke in all the 7 movies that he made.
Yeah.
And that
was
was
like,
that's America's ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I mean, why
Sure.
you got an ass like that? Why wouldn't you check yourself out?
The fireworks have come a long way. When he jumps off the building and he flames on,
Mm-hmm.
you notice
does
like
look
the
good.
front, he gradually flames on. It's not all at once. I don't know if you noticed that, but I noticed his legs light up first, and he was totally exposed in the front still.
Yeah.
That reminded me a lot of Evans, that popular scene from the first one, but yet the effects are a lot better and crisp, and
I think
it looked cool as they follow him, his leg movements and stuff.
I was kind of worried because we're going back to the Thing.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried because after I saw what Red Hulk looks like in the new Captain America,
Yeah.
I was like, they haven't really progressed that much from Mark Ruffalo,
Yeah.
but I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Like just how
Thing. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because he has more texture to him and that kind of
Yeah. He's got a brow, that's
blends it
for
in
sure.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that they put his brow in
Yeah.
the comics.
Yeah. And they got
That's
the
really
blue eyes
cool.
coming through.
But yeah, he's probably Thing's never been my favorite Fantastic Four member, but he probably will be after I see this.
Well, my gripe about Thing is he fights Hulk in the comics, right?
He does. He's never been able to match totally with Hulk.
So
Right, because Thing's strength kind of maxes out at a certain limit, whereas Hulk's, the more mad he gets, the stronger he
Yeah.
gets.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
So-
So that's what I was surprised by, Thing's size. He looks like he's not quite taller than him much.
This goes back to all the times Jonah and I have talked about the Marvel trading cards on
Yeah.
the number one comics podcast. Huh? See what I did there? But they'd always have, I think it was series 2 or 3 when they started showing agility 7, strength
Oh, sure.
4,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
And thing I always remember was Thing's strength maxed out at 6 and Hulk's was 7.
Oh, sure. Okay.
But when you think about it in that context,
yeah.
if Hulk's just going to keep getting fucking stronger every time he gets more and more pissed,
Yeah.
it makes sense. But
Yep.
he is very formidable. But
Now, he was not as bulky or wide or broad as I was maybe expecting him to be.
Yeah, same.
And
same.
that doesn't mean I don't
he
like
was-
it, but
I don't think he was either. But I think I was still kind of Michael Chiklis was just kind of a rubber suit, so he wasn't
yeah.
huge. But
He's very short.
Josh, no.
Josh
Was it
Trank.
Josh Trank
Yep, you're
version?
right. Yep.
Where he's Rock.
Yeah.
He looks a little more like
I
Korg
thought
than
he would be
Thing.
more that
Yeah.
size in this
Yeah.
new one. They kind of tweaked it. All right, this is a good size, because that was a big complaint about
Yeah.
Chiklis.
But it's good. He
was
doesn't
too
need
small.
to be 7 feet tall.
No, yeah, I don't want him
I mean,
super
if you put
huge.
him with Hulk, Hulk's not monstrously taller than the group, but he's not
most-
the Ang Lee Hulk, that's for sure. But
I think most of the time in the comics, though, when they're face to face, he is kind of looking up at Hulk.
Yeah.
okay,
So
yeah.
he doesn't
That was just my thing. I was just
yeah.
I thought he'd be a little bit bigger than that, but
Yeah. No, I think he's a good size. I was just expecting him to be bigger.
I love him in turtlenecks. And you know what I mean? He's
The
not.
suit.
Yeah,
I will say that the suits look great.
I like the
I love the
suits.
color palette. That blue.
I like how
is
they I think it's Thing and either Johnny or Sue, one of the two of them, have the white stripe down the side of it.
everyone except Reed, I think, has
I think
that.
Reed's is the solid blue
Right.
with
Yeah.
the white gloves or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It makes me confident that at some point we're going to see the bombastic Bagman in Spider-Man 4.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
That'd be a cool. No, I don't think that's going to happen.
I was like, you are the only person asking for that.
I don't even know who that is. I should know.
Hey, that's my most played skin in Spider-Man. No, I'm kidding. I'm okay.
Did you guys rewatch the trailer right away after
I did.
initially?
Yeah.
I
did
watched
because,
it on
I wanted to
YouTube.
see-
Yeah.
There's like that one shot of like the old guy.
John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Who is that guy? Do we know?
That's what I thought. Was like it's John Malkovich, but I didn't
Yeah.
like. I'm like, I know who that guy is.
I didn't look up to see if it lists who he's playing.
Right.
So
no. What I
I
got
did.
doesn't
I did
show.
make the mistake of going on Wikipedia, which of course is not the most,
Yeah.
trustworthy news
Of
site
course,
out there. And like saw a couple things on there. I didn't see who he's playing though.
The casting's great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's really.
I think it is too.
They really try to capture that 1969 type of everyone was excited about the space program and all
Yeah.
that, and so that was really cool. I love the world. It's like I kind of wish this was like I would like to see other Marvel characters in this world. Like with the 60s vibe and all that.
Well, and that's what's interesting about that is there's so many Marvel characters that we haven't seen in the MCU that we've been given. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you could take some characters who are maybe introduced around that time and introduce them in that world. Characters like, especially with the kind of the space aspect of it, characters like Quasar, you could easily introduce into that.
Sure.
So there is still a lot they could do that I think is interesting.
Yeah. I know this is like a multiverse type of universe, whatever. My theory, and I'm sure other people have the same, I'm guessing these Fantastic Four somehow wind up into the world that we know of with the MCU films. Like, I wonder if Galactus actually
I would be
is successful with destroying that world, and then maybe when they go up to space again, maybe that's their way into our world, or
I would be
whoever's.
okay if they didn't come into play until they do like a Secret Wars kind of thing.
Yeah. I agree. Like, let them play in this world for a little bit.
Hopefully, yeah.
One or two movies in this world, and then you can have them
I dig
cross
the
over.
world. I
But
really dig it.
I don't want to see it where they cross into this MCU world at the end of the first movie.
Right.
Right.
I'm afraid that it's probably going to go that way because Marvel feels like they just have to interconnect.
Well, and you got the Avengers
Everything.
films coming out. I think people want to see the Fantastic Four with them and all that.
Yeah.
And
And that's the thing that
maybe they'll bring the X-Men
I
with
got
them.
so burnt out with on phases 1 through 4 is that everything ended up being connected, and it was like if you missed this TV series,
yeah.
Well,
you watch
and
the
then
movie
they're
and
trying to
missed
connect.
something.
They're
The
trying.
shitty TV series.
Yeah.
they're trying to connect.
They're trying to connect shit that they couldn't even connect or that didn't even go anywhere. Like, okay, you introduce us to who is supposed to be the Black Knight. He even gets a sword at the end of the movie,
And Blade's
and he
voice.
hears Blade's voice,
Yeah.
but we're not probably ever going to see that.
It's a mess.
We're never going to see. I mean, I would love to see the Black Knight in an Avengers movie.
I mean, they're finally acknowledging Celestial, the
The hand.
acknowledging the Celestial,
Yeah.
bringing
Captain America.
adamantium into
Yeah, that's where it
the
comes
MCU.
from. Yeah. Which I'm like,
Just-
kind of too little too late. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a big...
Yeah,
The Eternals is so different from those other films. It's like, it's like they wanted to be in the same universe, but they're on their own, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they'll never be acknowledged either. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Which is, I very much look at the Eternals, even in the comic books, as kind of like the same. Like, I've never liked the Eternals.
Okay, yeah.
They were always kind of doing their own thing anyway.
Yeah.
And there was some crossover where you had like Crystal was an Avenger for a while, and I think
Cersei
Mary
was an adventure at one
Cersei, maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
Love the fantastic car maneuvering. It didn't fly in this one. It was all on wheels. So that
Think
was
of like
Probably, I
all
would
the
say
char-
probably
very
will at some
Incredibles
point.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably going to be like a
60s-esque.
little button they push and wings pop out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I just think there's so with this new world that this movie's even being set
the
in.
world. Yeah.
There's so many different things they can do with it, and new characters they can introduce that or reintroduce.
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily introduce a Howard the Duck type character into this world, and it wouldn't feel like weird or
Right, because
completely out of place.
They're being interviewed in the beginning of this, like they're just
Yeah.
a normal family that's got gifts, and they're like, we have dinner every night, and and Ben's like making dinner with the robot, and
Yeah.
There's so much they can do. I want to see him play in this world for a little bit.
I know, I'm excited.
We got quite a while before this comes out.
Yeah, I forgot
July.
to put the
July?
Is it July.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Yeah, because you're going to have Superman and Fantastic Four in July, basically. They're going to be within weeks of each other.
Superman will be July 25th.
It's going to be a double feature night for sure.
Oh, yeah. Put those together. What do you get? You know, kind of like the Oppen Barbie or whatever the fuck they called it.
Barbenheimer?
Yeah. What'd you call
Fantastic Man.
Fantastic Man?
Yeah, I don't know. Super 4.
Super 4? I'm sure
Superman
somebody will
4,
come
the
up with something.
Piece.
Oh, ouch. That's a rough one. Jeez.
I do want to see Sinners. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
It does look good. The trailer for that kind of threw me off because I'm like, this looks like a really cool like period gangster piece, and then just like, boom, vampires.
It's
Yeah.
like From Dusk Till Dawn, sort of.
Yeah.
Flips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if From Dusk Till Dawn landed in Rosewood.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Is what it
I
reminds
love
me
Michael
of.
B. Jordan being a twin. I think that's cool.
yeah.
Ladies will like that.
I just like Michael B.
Some men.
Jordan,
I do
period.
like
Oh, I do
Michael B.
too.
Jordan.
Dude's jacked, and he should have been the new Black Panther. Maybe they'll fix that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot. Ryan Coogler's back, of course, directing. He wrote this. Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld. She looks great.
Is that
She was
Hawkeye's daughter? Or Hawkeye, the new Hawkeye, the female Hawkeye?
Yeah,
Kate Bishop.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
She was in.
Josh Allen's fiance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's Josh Allen again?
He is the Bills quarterback who was not able to beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
She looks great in this very adult part. You know, this is probably putting her in a stratosphere. She was in True Grit. Got nominated.
She was
for
the
that.
girl in that, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
She was like 13, I think, or
Dude,
14.
I
She was great.
love that movie.
Yeah.
I love him as Rooster.
Yeah,
Oh, so good.
that was a good one. When it turns into a vampire, I think it's a vampire, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. They look like vampires.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like got a From Dusk Till Dawn type of twist to it.
Yeah.
She looks badass as a vampire when her eyes are like, glistening,
Yeah.
I think most people look better as a vampire.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, sure. Twilight.
Yeah, Twinkles.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what's your favorite vampire movie and favorite trapped in an isolated type of movie? I already
shit.
said mine pretty much, From Dusk Till Dawn. I thought that was like really good. How
Yeah.
like they're fucked, but they made it out.
The
Spoilers.
first Blade,
Yeah.
Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, that's a good one. That jump scare at the end. Holy fuck.
I will
Christian Slater's
say,
driving.
I forget the name of it, but James Woods
Oh,
is
Vampires.
in it. Vampires.
John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Carpenter.
Underrated movie.
Really underrated.
So I think my favorite vampire movie is probably From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
But the second part of your question was a movie about people getting trapped somewhere?
Yeah, like favorite isolated. It could be the same movie, but
You mean like kidnapped kind of thing, or like what do you mean?
Like just
kinda like-
trapped in a
like they're
room
trapped in the barn in this
or a
one From Dusk Till
barn.
Dawn. They were in that
The bar.
strip club, whatever. Like favorite movies are like that, Like they're trapped. Like what was that one? Fuck, Patrick Stewart was in it. It was Anton Yelchin's last.
That's
film.
my favorite of those. Green Room.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a good one too.
That's what I was thinking of in my head.
Yeah.
That is probably my favorite. Trapped in
Yeah.
trying to get out of something.
Yeah.
Especially because that movie. Have you ever seen Green Room?
Yeah,
Man, that movie goes from like 0 to 60 so fucking fast.
Yeah,
it does.
And it is a wild ride.
yeah.
So that's probably my favorite trapped somewhere movie.
Or that was it called Buried with Ryan Reynolds? And he's like a Halliburton type of dude. and they
Yeah, I
beat his
remember that
ass.
one.
Jesus
Yeah.
criminy.
Yeah, that
was
one's pretty tense.
very yeah.
I don't know, does speed count? You're trapped on a bus? Like, that's a
Yeah.
great one.
I count
So,
it. Sure.
all right.
Collector. It's got Josh Stewart in it. It's like he's like a robber. He's breaking into this like rich house of this guy that he kind of works for.
Okay.
And when he breaks in there, he finds out like the family's been kidnapped by this guy who like has a little gimp mask on and
Oh shit.
that
Okay.
sort of stuff. There's two of them so far, which are both really good.
That reminded me of another one, too, from last year. That was probably my favorite movie of 2024, was Abigail.
I haven't seen that yet. I want to see it. I love the twist.
It is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like intentionally funny. Like, it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
But some of the characters in the situation they're put in is just funny to me.
Yeah.
I highly
From
recommend.
Dusk Till Dawn. It's just
It
like,
is. It is
yeah.
like From Dusk Till Dawn. She is a vampire.
Yeah.
So that might be my second favorite vampire movie.
Love that twist. Like, I'm sorry.
And you know what? Considering
babe?
that one kind of checks both of your boxes. I might just change my answer to Abigail.
Yeah.
Because
It could check both.
yeah, because they're trapped in a house
Yeah.
with a vampire who's like an 11-year-old girl, and he just fucks their shit up,
Right.
and it's so good.
Nice. I got to see that.
I recommend.
Another
Yeah.
isolation one would probably be Don't Breathe.
Oh God, that's so good.
That one's good.
Who's in that?
The old guy from Avatar.
Yeah. Papa Dragon.
Oh, the blind guy.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a Fede Alvarez movie. It's the same guy that did like Alien Romulus and
How was that sequel? Did you guys?
oh, it's good. The sequel's
I never
just
saw the
the
sequel.
sequel's just as good as the first.
Didn't they kind of make him like a good guy in the sequel, or no?
You definitely start to root for him more in the sequel.
Is that a bad
Yeah.
thing? You think? Or
I mean, again, it's one of those. It's like, do you
Yeah.
forgive him for trying
they
to
did break into his house?
Do you forgive
right?
him to try and artificially inseminate this woman with a turkey baster in like the most
My God.
grotesque, drippy way possible?
Ugh.
And like, if you can forgive him for that,
Scene makes
all
me
the fixins?
Yeah.
I got to see that.
Here's how you make a villain sympathetic. We've seen it in comic books all the time. Is they have to go up against a worse villain.
Right.
Like you have to have a worse person
Yeah.
for them to go up against, and then you're like, oh, I really like it. Barbosa from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies was the villain in the first
yep.
one, and then by the
Yeah.
third, you're like rooting for the guy because they're going up against somebody worse.
Yeah.
That's how you make a villain sympathetic and likable.
Yeah.
Is you just have to introduce something worse, and that's kind of what they do with that. And so, yes,
Sure. Overall, what do you think of the Sinners? Like,
I think
you
it.
interested?
I'll go
That'd be
see
one
it.
I'd go see.
I'll go see it. And then the other trailer that you had on there, Locked.
Locked, yes.
I don't know. It looks kind of dumb. I like the actor.
Bill Skarsgård.
I like Bill Skarsgård.
Anthony Hopkins.
He's good.
It's a simple premise. It's like phone booth, sort of. but
Yeah.
I kind of dig it. It's like, I don't know. It would happen in the future. Like some rich dude would probably set up a car to get stolen because that's the.
Wasn't there already a movie about a guy in a car and someone's like, "Hey, you gotta like calls him and." Am I making that up? I feel like that's the issue with the movie is
tell you
I
what
feel like I've already seen it.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what it
I
reminds
gotcha.
What it reminds me of is the car from the Transporter movies.
Okay.
Where, like,
Yep.
he had to punch in the code like every 5
Oh,
seconds. Or
yeah.
if somebody tried to steal his car.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
lock him in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that.
my breathalyzer did the same thing back in the day.
Oh, and here you are drinking a sour
We got him off the wagon.
on a recorded live YouTube video.
Full disclosure, I've never technically had a breathalyzer in my car.
Sure, he has.
It was before they
He
were
lost a bet
required.
with the cops.
not under his current name anyway.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård, very talented actor. Has had a few missteps. Hopefully, this isn't one of them. I think it looks intriguing. I don't know. We'll see.
I wouldn't really say. Granted, I have yet to see The Crow yet because you told me it was horrible.
Watch you end up loving it. I'm like,
I
okay.
would say that's probably the only thing he's been in that I've heard was kind of a misstep.
Like as a starring vehicle, because he's been in other things, obviously, in a
well,
lower tier cast. Yeah.
I mean, I loved him as Pennywise. He was perfect as Pennywise.
Oh, yeah.
I do have one trailer
Sure.
that dropped not too long ago that it's kind of both movie and video game news related.
Okay.
It's for Until Dawn. Based on a video game.
I've played the game. The game's cool.
Yeah, it's not like a one-for-one adaptation, is because the games that Supermassive does,
Yeah.
like Until Dawn, The Quarry, the Man of Medan series, they actually have like real actors
Okay.
in the game.
Yeah.
You know, like they mocap them and everything. Like the Until Dawn game had like Rami Malek.
Oh, wow.
Hayden Panettiere is in it.
Okay.
Peter Stormare. That's what it is. The movie, it kind of like the premise of it is almost like Cabin in the Woods.
Okay. Yeah.
But like at the end of the night when they're all dead, it resets and then they start the night over.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's got a lot of like kind of Easter eggy type stuff from the game in it, but the trailer's pretty cool. I'd suggest checking it out. The people that are doing the movie specifically wanted to have it set in like the Until Dawn universe, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
But not make it which you couldn't make it a one-for-one adaptation. You know,
Kind of like Fallout, right? Sort
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
The premise of the game is these group of friends that go to a cabin, this guy's family cabin in the woods, and then like they start getting stalked by this killer,
Oh, okay.
which ends up being a practical joke because it's the guy who owns the cabin. his sisters died a year ago because these friends played a prank on them, and they fell off a cliff and died, and yada yada.
It's the
But
Vengeance
he's like,
movie, right?
You'd probably like it because, like, the family cabin, his dad's like a Hollywood producer,
Okay.
so he does all this stuff to like fake all these, like fake his own death with like
Yeah.
special effects
Yeah.
and stuff.
It's like the original like House on Haunted Hill,
Yeah,
where it wasn't a haunted house; it was all like animatronics and
but then like
make believe stuff.
Okay.
about halfway through it, when you think like, oh, okay, he's the one that's been fucking with us this whole time.
Yeah.
There's a twist on it, and there's actually like a bigger threat
Oh shit.
kind of
Okay.
thing. So I'm not going to spoil it all for you because
Okay.
it's one I
Cool.
recommend
Cool.
you playing or
Sure.
It is a
watching
good.
the
It is.
playthrough on my channel.
Yeah, it's one of those fun series of games to play around Halloween time,
Yeah,
where you can
it's,
like you make decisions and then it changes, alters the gameplay.
Yeah, so like you can
Choose your own adventure type.
Okay.
thing.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, and the quarry that I did not too long ago, well, probably like what 2 years ago. I don't fucking know. Time gets away from me when you're old.
Same.
It's the same premise. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
every action you take,
Yeah.
like affects something small now, but affects something big later.
Yeah.
Right.
kind of thing.
Gotcha. Very cool. Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be success.
Not like the Telltale games where no choice mattered and the
Oh,
story
really?
stayed the same no
yeah.
matter what.
That's how it goes. I like watching those. Because I like playing video games. It's just the time for one, and
Oh, yeah, it's-
in the end I just like watching the movie version or the film version.
Where it's like the
put all
play,
clips
the
together.
playthrough.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to do that with like the some of the Call of Duty games, just
Oh,
because it's like
yeah.
watching a war movie.
That's another thing I don't think that gets nearly enough love is like the single player campaign to a lot of those games.
That's all I see. That's all I do because I don't play
that's all I do
online.
too, but like, if I bring up Call of Duty to somebody, they're like, "Oh, you go on that game with all those people, all those 13-year-olds saying the N-word," and
And no,
She
I don't. Here's the deal. I don't have all the Call of Duty games. I got a lot of them, and
Yeah.
I've never once played one online. I've always only ever done the campaign. In fact, if I get a Call of Duty game and I find out it doesn't have the campaign, I get pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I buying a game that doesn't have a fucking campaign?
Right. That'll be a movie to make someday. Well, I guess it's already been made if you think about it.
I would do it. I would.
Saving Private Ryan.
Well,
all the best.
Platoon.
but some of those games I think would be like even like a pretty. I think it'd be a pretty cool movie.
Yeah.
I think the World War II Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just think of the characters though, like Ghost and Soap and McTavish or Roach.
Yeah,
I think they got some really cool characters that
they do, and it's like
would be cool on
every-
screen.
Like you'll do one mission that's like the SAS, and then another mission that's like Delta Force.
Yeah.
They kind of work together and stuff.
And that's how they bring a lot of those characters together, which is pretty badass.
Oh, a series would be nice, maybe, if you could. Band of Brothers, sort
Yeah,
of.
if they did, yeah, exactly.
But every
Band of
season's like
Brothers
another
kind of thing.
war, basically, not the same characters, maybe. It's like, I don't know. You could do all kinds of things. You
Yeah.
go into the future, that'd be a big budget, but
They are those ones that take place in the future too.
yes.
So,
Speaking of, it's going to take place in the future because it comes out February 27th, 2016 or 2026. Scream 7, guys.
I'm a sucker for those movies. I'll go
Dude,
see it.
it's been revitalized, that franchise, It's just
Scream 6 was awesome. Scream
Yeah.
5 was good.
yeah. Scream 4 came out, it was 10 years before 5, I think, and it just kind of
Scream 4 was
Stalled.
probably the weakest of them, and I
Yeah.
still like it.
Yeah. I don't think I've never not enjoyed a
Yeah.
Scream movie. I don't think any of them are
yeah.
block or
They're not. None of
Or
them
like
are ever going to
Oscar.
live up to
The first one?
The first one,
Yeah.
because the first one was so. And it's weird to think of it as
So
revolutionary at this time, but
Yeah.
it was revolutionary in
Yeah.
terms of horror genre.
It was.
It revolutionized it. It made horror hip
was
and funny,
self-aware.
and
Self-aware of
sexy,
all the-
and it was
yeah.
meta.
Yep.
And I was 16 years old going to see that on a double date
Yeah.
with some girls who had no interest in me whatsoever, and then one of my good friends and his girlfriend. But the movie was awesome. The company kind of sucked.
yeah.
had a
Movie was awesome.
had a different kind of special popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
And you cut the little hole. at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Is that why she didn't call me back?
Huge cast. We got Isabella May. She was in 1883. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's a Yellowstone prequel. Great. It was a great show.
My wife really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Elliott was in it. If you saw this actress, you'd probably recognize her. She was in Young Sheldon
Okay.
for a few episodes. She's playing Sydney's daughter. And then McKenna, that's another thing. Nev Campbell is back in this one. I think most people know that.
They're moving away from the two sisters.
Yeah.
So
right, because you got the one that's very expensive and high in demand right now. What's her face?
Wednesday.
Ortega.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because the sister, which is weird because the last movie, I don't want to give. Well, did you guys see the last film? Yeah. Okay.
No.
Well, it's okay. I won't give much away. But they're teasing a type of storyline for the older sister, I would say. Anyway, that older sister, she was pro-Palestine, and I guess that was controversial enough for her to get kind of kicked out of the movie, and then Jenna Ortega followed suit, but I don't know if it was because of supporting her or she's so high in demand she can just choose what she wants to do. But anyway, because of that, because the big deal was Nev Campbell wasn't back the last time,
right,
wanted more money. I think this whole casting change up helped her get back in. I'm assuming she's making what she wanted. But yeah, you're getting all of Sydney's family. You got Joe McHale as her husband.
That's great casting.
McKenna Grace is in this film. Ghostbusters fame, Afterlife.
Nice.
What else? McKenna. She's been in a lot of things. Great actress. Matthew Lillard.
Which is weird. Two things. It's a weird reveal because is it a spoiler? Like, are they giving something big away there?
Can't be now.
And also, like, how are they going to...
I wish they would have made it a surprise because he's come back as Stu. I think Stu, that was his name, right?
His name. Yeah, that's what it was said in the article is that he signed back on to play Stu, and it's like this motherfucker died.
Well, I mean,
that's always been a huge fan theory, though, that Stu never died.
I was
did
on
they?
That.
Okay, hold on.
We were talking about TVs before this started. And that TV that landed on his face was fucking huge.
Well, yeah, it was like a 36-inch or something.
It was like, and that had to weigh like 70 pounds on its own.
And he shook, right? He got shocked.
Yeah,
like,
but
the glass front to it. I mean, come on, man.
Maybe his face is just badly damaged. He's had a lot of surgery.
Wasn't one of the killers in 5 related to Stu? No, wasn't one of them related to Stu though?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes, you're right.
And so
his sister or some shit. Or his daughter. It was his daughter? I think it was his daughter. I don't fucking
Regardless.
It's like a soap opera now.
If he lived, that would have seemed to be kind of pointless. I don't know. I think they never made... I mean, I don't know that they explicitly said he died.
It was kind of left open, but yeah, I get it. It's like, he didn't get the double tap that the other dude did. You know, you got to shoot him twice, right? And he's like...
Well, I don't know that you have to if you... drop a TV on their head.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll...
It's a bit...
Not only did it... I mean, that thing was like electrocuting, too. It was like...
Yeah, he shook. Yeah.
Like, that thing was like...
I'm down with it, though, because they've been wanting him to come back for a while now, and he denied the last movie he was in it. I wish he would have made this more of a surprise, but...
that's the thing. That's the weird thing about announcing that casting is...
Yeah, it's like, why bury the lead? Do you think do you think they'll flip him like he's like rejuvenated or not rejuvenated, rehabilitated now? Like he's like
maybe he's
a guru, maybe? Or
maybe he'll like
probably in prison
have amnesia and keep like seeing Ghostface in his nightmares.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and suddenly he remembers like,
it's pretty ballsy how they brought...
The killer's not after you. You are the killer.
What?
Whoa.
It's like Mulholland Drive. Not Mulholland Drive.
It's crazy to see like these...
Scoob.
It's crazy in a good way to see these actors that we largely grew up with that are making this like resurgence in their careers. Because like...
Oh, yeah.
Because... He's in this, and he's going to be in the sequel to Freddy.
Freddy Got Fingered. Oh yeah, Five Nights at Freddy.
Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh, you
and then you got like Sarah Michelle Gellar making a comeback now. They're talking about a new Buffy series with her, and she's in the Dexter prequel.
Oh, that's right.
Which is really good.
I know he did last summer's coming back. She can't be in it because she's dead.
Yeah,
maybe she can. I don't.
Well, her career's also.
She had special blood. I don't know. No, but this is awesome.
They're gonna do like a geriatric Cruel Intentions where she's like manipulating people at the old person's home. I'm for it.
Oh, man.
Giving a handy during Jeopardy.
Nev Campbell obviously is in
Who's the casting director for that, and how do I sign up?
Nev Campbell, obviously. Scott Foley, Sydney's brother from the third one. He's back. I thought he died. I guess we're talking about TVs falling on people. Yeah,
I don't remember him. I don't remember him. I mean, that
30? Had
I
Jane
need to do
Silent
like
Bob in it.
I need to do like a binge marathon of.
I
Yeah,
do. I just watched the
movies.
first and second one not too long ago, but
Yeah.
I definitely need to go back and revisit the third and the fourth.
That was wild.
Yeah.
That was back to back, first and the second. Like,
Yeah.
it came out, and so was the last two. I think
3
too,
and 4 are
right?
pretty close together.
Yeah. Well, and the last one, and the one before that, I think.
And
were
yeah,
pretty
and
close.
again they already brought back Hayden,
yeah.
even after they had killed her off in like the third or the
Did they?
fourth one.
No
If
shit.
I recall
really?
correctly, I thought her character
She was-
seemingly died.
She was in 4.
yes.
Yeah. Yep. Because that was the popularity of Heroes, and
Yeah.
that's kind of her peak. But yeah, you got Scott Foley,
I do. I need to go back and watch those again.
Courtney Cox, Mason Gooding's coming back. This Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. He's great. His sister's also back. I forgot her name. Apologies. Anna Camp. She's from Pitch Perfect fame. She's in this. So yeah, huge cast. Directed by Kevin Williamson.
Had he directed? I know he wrote.
This is his second film directing.
Okay. Oh,
Yes, he wrote-
I see that you have it on there. Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a terrible movie that was.
Was it bad? He wrote for first and second Scream.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
he directed the third one, but I guess he didn't. So that's kind of makes me a little nervous because I think the last 2 films are directed by the same person, and those are huge hits. So
They were
hopefully,
directed. Was it? I don't think it was even one person. I think they were directed by a duo.
Oh,
it was directed by 2 guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how this goes, but the cast is great, and I'm excited. I love it. I love this whole renaissance it's having Scream, and it's helped. Like I said, Final Destination's getting a new movie, Bloodlines, I think it's called.
Yep.
I know, but I don't care about those. I just love the kills.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the only
The
reason to
weight room
watch.
in 3, the roller coaster in 3, I think too. It just goes off the track or something.
I think that was the third one.
Yeah.
Because that's the opening to the third one.
Second one, I had no interest until that freeway scene. I was like, holy fuck, that was intense.
I believe that's the one where the pane of glass falls on the kid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But
pancakes him.
But the logs coming off the truck is a lot of someone has made a meme of that, saying like when you're on the interstate.
Oh yeah.
Some of you thinks of that
Every
that
time
scene.
time I see a truck with logs on it, I think of it.
You're like,
100%.
I'm gonna pull off for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like about those movies, just as a quick aside,
Final Destination.
yeah, is how Death was able to like manipulate objects. I didn't like that.
Yeah. They had like the little.
Where it
See,
could
I
like
liked it.
it could like unscrew something from
Oh,
the
yeah.
like I didn't like the
I like that kind of-
telekinetic ability of this.
Did it only have
entity.
that power if they skipped their first death?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
maybe
if,
what-
yes.
the
they
lore
made it
was.
like
Yeah.
this unseen, like shadowy figure. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna turn this faucet.
And I think it would have been kind of cool if it was, and maybe if it was like, okay, everyone dies, but hey, if you cheat death, all of a sudden this thing comes after you.
Yeah.
It's not death itself, it's like a harbinger of death.
Yeah.
And give it more of a character itself, because just it being like, oh yeah, if you were meant to die and you didn't for some reason, well now all of a sudden, like, I don't know.
They all ended the same too. They always remembered like, oh, I'm next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
But,
is really only effective in the first one, because then by the time you get to the second one, you're like, yeah, I've seen that.
Oscar nominations. We talked about Grammys earlier. I just kind of cherry picked the ones. I'm mostly invested in this. But
This is all Josh.
Yeah.
there'll be some.
Hey, Bill, let's go get some coffee.
No. I need you for support. No. But no, you'll recognize some of these films and some of these actors, obviously. So, Wicked, I've seen. I liked it. I thought it was really good. It's got nominated for Best Picture, Actress, and Supporting Actress. So Ariana Grande is a Oscar nominated actor now. Demi Moore, though, is nominated.
For that
Best
body
Actress.
dysmorphia movie, which I heard is
Substance.
really good.
I heard too.
I haven't seen it yet.
Heard it's really body gore. It's she like grows a younger. That's what you do with a substance. You grow a younger version of you, and then that version goes out, I think, and has a life, and then you kind of like wait for him to return or some shit. I do want to see it. It looks
It sounds almost like Appendage. Did you ever see Appendage?
no.
Fucking watch Appendage.
Is that like a low key horror?
I think it's
film?
called Appendage.
Okay.
It is a horror comedy.
Okay.
Watch it.
Oh, it's a comedy. Okay.
It's fucking weird.
Adrian Brody. I'm kind of shocked. His career kind of fizzled, but he still was making things. But he was kind of some of his antics. I think he got kind of blacklisted. Maybe. Because of it.
Who?
Adrian Brody. He won
Oh,
for the,
okay. Yeah. The guy from like Predators and
pianist.
the piano.
Yep.
Piano or pianist?
Pianist.
Pianist.
Yep. He got nominated for Best Actor for The Brutalist. I haven't seen that.
I haven't heard of it.
But looks good. I'm happy for him. Timothy Chalamet, he's nominated. I like him. He's been in the Dune films, not Doom.
I've not seen those yet.
You haven't? Okay.
No.
I think you'll dig him. Inside Out 2 nominated for Best Animated Film. I like that. I thought it was decent. It was one of those we were talking about earlier about animation. It's
Yeah,
kinda
well,
like,
I don't know what is that? Is that what the they're like emotions, like emojis?
Yeah. Well, no, not emojis.
It's not the Emoji Movie.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's like anger.
Oh, all right. So it is the emoji movie.
Well,
they're just emotions.
Yeah, it's like a control
Yeah.
room in your brain.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Lewis Black's the anger guy, which is cool, and each person's got that.
I didn't like the second one as much.
Well, it's a cash grab too because I feel like some of these emotions are kind of like the same emotions. They just kind of like stretch,
just
like anxiety. Like I don't know if that's more of like a nervous. I don't know.
It's like Ryu and Ken. They're the same.
Yeah.
They're basically the same guy. One
I
just
get it.
has
It's a
red.
cash grab. Yeah, the story is very simple. I felt it felt shorter than the first film, but it made a shit ton of money. So
They're going to do a third one where they introduce schizophrenia, and it goes around killing off the other
Body
emotions,
dysmorphia,
Did you get the script?
DID.
identity style.
Well, there was one that was going to be like depression or something, and they cut it out because
It was depressing.
yeah,
They're like, man, this emotion's a bummer.
yeah.
Cut it.
Dune 2 and Nosferatu got nominated for Best Cinematography. Amelia Perez, this is a big controversial thing going on right now. One, it wasn't really liked by a lot of people. It got like the most nominations out of all these films. They got 13 nominations. It stars a trans woman, Carla Sofia Gascon.
So is there some sort of like conspiracy behind why a movie that's not
Well,
that good got
I
so
mean,
many nominations?
It's
For a movie
very
that's-
message heavy. Maybe that's getting in a way of like, because it's about trans. It really.
Oh, so is that what it's about? Is it it's about that as well?
Well, it's actually an interesting concept. I think it's about a drug lord who fakes his death, has a sex change,
No, that sounds kind of cool.
trying to reestablish a relationship with his family, but obviously he's playing like the sister of the father or something.
So it's like
Drama.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, there's been that comparison. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. It does
I'm actually intrigued.
Yeah, I've seen a YouTuber like pick it apart, and he played some of the song of one of these songs. It was not great in my opinion, but I don't know. Hopefully, it won't just win because it's about a trans person. Like I'm all for that, but if it's a shitty movie, it shouldn't get won because of its representation.
Sure.
Because of that, in my opinion. Anyway, this actress is in trouble right now because of old controversial tweets. It had like some racial slurs in it, so she's kind of getting canceled now. So it's kind of a mess because I don't even know
Yeah.
what's going to happen with all this. So
Wonder what it's one of those things where like I have to like kind of know the context behind it.
I didn't really look into it. So
Is it a
like-
musical?
It's a musical drama.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you lost
Dear
me.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And I like musicals, but not that much.
Yeah, but it's got Zoe Saldana in it. She's getting a lot
she's
of
good.
praise.
She's good.
Selena Gomez is in it.
She's good.
One of the upsets was, and I saw this. I don't know if you guys did. This was on HBO Max. The Christopher Reeve documentary.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I don't like to cry that hard,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to watch it
You
because
will
I know
cry,
I will
'cause
cry
I think
really
I
hard.
cried, and I'm pretty dead inside. No, I'm not.
I know, dude, I'm dead inside, and I know
Well, you're
I
talking
will.
about Fantastic Four. I'm like, wow, I didn't get there. But
Oh, maybe I'm not as dead inside as some people might claim. But yeah, no, I don't want to see I'm sure it's a fantastic
It
movie.
is. It's very good.
I don't want to see
very
that.
good. It's so sad, but it is uplifting too because it kind of I think you remember or at least you see the full picture of everything he tried to do after his accident. Like he really did make a difference, even though he never
Yeah.
got to walk again. But he came close. Like he was starting to move a little bit more. But
I remember
yeah.
seeing after he had his accident and he had his first interview on TV.
Yeah,
Was that Barbara Walters?
I think so.
might have been. Yeah,
and
I think I remember
that upsetting me so much, not
yeah.
because of his
Yeah.
situation, but because grew up watching the Richard Donner
yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
And
And Richard Donner Spider-Man would have been awesome too.
it would have been better than that
Starring Mel Gibson.
Japanese thing we got. And years ago, I saw when Smallville was
that was
on,
cool.
He was
Yep.
like a
Yeah, he was a
astrophysicist or
character.
something like that.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it was a Stephen Hawking-esque
yeah,
character.
and he did
is
a
what I
remake
mean.
to Rear Window with his condition.
Yeah.
That was a TV movie, but
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good. I mean, I tuned in. Fact for a lot of people out there, I don't know if you knew this, but I know from watching behind the scenes of the first 2 Superman movies, they dyed his hair for it. He wore a wig in the last 2 he did because he was allergic to the hair dye, but I guess he suffered from alopecia. I didn't know that. So he'd have these, I supposedly he was getting like vitamin shots on the first Superman just to maintain his hair. So, because when he got in his condition, his hair started to like look thin and then it was thick. And I always was like, what the hell's going on? And then he was totally bald at the end of his life.
I mean,
The more you know.
I'm still going to be bald when I'm dead, but
Yeah, no, you're not. You're fine. You're going to have like you're fine. Fuck off. You and your fucking hair.
You got hair?
No.
No, yeah, you got no hair.
He's
Well,
like in the scale of baldness.
guys, I parted it. Can you tell?
In the scale of baldness on the Field of Geeks alumni here, it goes like Mitch, then Josh, then Steve.
Yeah.
No.
Mitch shaves his head though, actually, so I don't go that far.
He's been going bald since he was 16.
The wind hit it, like, oh shit.
It wasn't that his hairline was receding; it's that his forehead was getting bigger.
I've got a big brain. Great documentary, obviously. Getting back to Christopher Reeve and the Oscars. Conan O'Brien is hosting. I'm happy. I'm a big Conan fan. I love his shit. So
Yeah.
hey, Jimmy Kimmel has been hosting forever, so I think a lot of people are tired of that. So, oh, you want Jimmy Kimmel to host?
No, I don't want Jimmy Kimmel to host. I mean, I'm still not going to watch it, but I don't
Yeah.
want him to host.
No, awards shows suck.
Well, thanks for crushing my dreams.
One day you'll get there, Josh.
Yeah, as a seat warmer. Behind Jaden Smith
it'll
with
be
his
the
fucking
seat filler.
castle head,
Yeah.
whatever, helmet.
I didn't always hate awards shows. I used to like to watch the MTV.
Music awards? Or
No, the video,
movie,
the
yeah.
movie awards.
Yeah, I
the
like that
movie
too.
awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were live,
Yeah.
is when they were fun.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
those were entertaining us when
Yeah.
like Will Ferrell did weird shit. And
Yeah.
Jim
And
Carrey.
Jim Carrey goes
Will
up on
Smith.
stage like a hippie. And
Yeah, I love the making of those. They did a documentary like a long time ago on the Video Music Awards.
Oh, really?
Or
I didn't know
Video
that.
Awards. Sorry. Yeah, like all the behind the scenes drama. Howard Stern like never being allowed to do that again. He did Fart Man. You remember that with
yeah, image that took forever to get out of my frontal cortex.
We're gonna get into Nosferatu in a minute here, but Robert Eggers, who is the director of Nosferatu, he's got a new project in the works called Werewolf. It's actually spelt WERWULF. Kind of cool. Different.
Is that the old country spelling?
Maybe.
All right.
Could be right. It's set in the 13th century, and I think Ryan Gosling is going to star in it. So Robert Eggers has also done The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman. You see the theme here?
Yeah. The Witch
Nosferatu killed that.
Which is one of the best horror movies ever.
That had Anna Taylor-Joy, right? It was like one of her first. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's been in, I think, most of his movies. Oh, not The Lighthouse. Boy, that's did you ever see The Lighthouse?
I haven't seen that one.
Whew, that's different. Yeah, I've seen his last 3 films now in the theater. Shockingly, he got me there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, obviously, there's not much to talk about with that right now, but I'm interested, especially after we'll get into Nosferatu now with review recommendations. Yeah, I love his direction and what he can do with these characters, and big cast in this one. Lily Rose Depp, I think she's obviously a rising star, Johnny Depp's daughter. She was like the main person in this.
I don't think I realized that was
His daughter?
his daughter
Till after the fact? Or
until just now when you said that.
no shit.
I didn't know what the actress's name was.
Nicholas Holt's in this, Bill Skarsgård. God, he's in everything. Aaron Taylor Johnson, whoever the hell that is.
You know who that is?
I know. Yeah, he's Craven, dude.
Jonah's man crush.
Is he Craven? Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's Craven. I still haven't seen Craven.
No,
but
he's Quicksilver, the one we should have gotten. That shouldn't have died.
he's kick-ass.
William Dafoe, who's great in everything he's in. And then Emma Corrin, I think she played Charles' sister in Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandra Nova.
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
She's so good in that movie, too.
Yeah, she was awesome. But yeah, what'd you think of this film?
I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a slow burn. You know, it wasn't like as overtly scary or horrific. It was just very subtle, but not in a bad way, because I was still like engrossed the entire time.
Right. Especially the scenes with Count Orlok.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, those scenes are all really good.
Jump off a cliff. Like that.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. I don't think my wife, who saw it with me, I don't think she enjoyed it as much as I did. I think she was just kind of like, okay, it's a movie and it is what it is.
Is she as much of a horror fan as you are?
She is, but you have to let her, like, she's like Evil Dead horror
Different
fan,
wavelength.
right? Like, yeah. And so I'm like, again, The Witch is like one of my favorite horror movies, and that's very kind of a
Artsy
slow
and vague,
burn
sort
too.
of, like,
yeah,
you kind of have to figure out what's happening in your
a little
own
bit.
head, sort of,
yeah, it's just not
You have to
as
think more.
in your face.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I like I like the in your face stuff too, but I like something like this as a good contrast to that.
Sure.
You had Willem Dafoe in it, who's always good.
Yeah.
He played the actor who played the original Count Orlok in Shadow of the Bat,
That's funny.
which was a great movie.
It's a fictional take on the
It was-
1922 actor, right?
Correct. It
For
was
the
sort of
original
a fictional retelling of the making of the original
Like if he was really a
Nosferatu
vampire,
movie.
right? Wasn't that?
I think he was just a weird dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In real life, he was.
In-
but
yeah. And
But they,
so-
they fictionalized it, made it like he actually is this character. Or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think he got a nomination for that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Willem Dafoe's in it. Nicholas Holt's always good. It had a great cast.
It did. Obviously, yeah. This is a remake from the 1922 film, which is a silent film. I actually recently went and saw it for the first time. It's actually on YouTube right now for free.
The original one?
The original one. I saw it. It's called a Silence Synced film. They've only done like 2 films like this, but they synced it up with Radiohead. It was pretty interesting. You could tell a lot of people were not expecting, I think, it maybe to be a silent film. I think the 2 in front of me kept falling asleep. It's like an hour and a half, but it is very eerie, even though how old it is. Obviously, when they did this version, they kind of tweaked the effects a little bit, like put some color in it, I think. As I walked out of this Nosferatu, the new one, and I was like, I've seen this story before so many times. Like Bram Stoker's Dracula,
It's very,
the Francis Ford Coppola one, that's pretty much the same. It always ends in tragedy.
yep. Yeah, the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula is very beat for beat
Yeah.
the same type
And that's
of
what Nosferatu
story.
is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
written
it
by
is.
Bram Stoker.
Nosferatu
right? Yeah.
is Dracula, is the story of Dracula.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was they couldn't get the rights to be Dracula, so they had to change it, maybe? Or Nosferatu is a different name for Dracula?
I think it might just be another name for Dracula.
Yeah. Great performances in this new film. Nominated for makeup, effects, and cinematography.
Nice.
I will say this. I have seen like more detailed look of the Count without the darkness. There's a lot of darkness in the film. That might be one of my complaints. It's like you don't really ever see too much of him, I felt like. But
The original is a lot like that. Too,
Yeah,
though.
I think that was largely. I think that was largely on purpose.
yeah, and yeah, I forgave it, but they showed all these detailed like makeup effects. I'm like, I wish I would have seen all that.
I just started watching America versus O.J. Simpson on Netflix.
My wife and I finished that over the weekend.
Now,
It's like 3
is
episodes.
that
I
the
think.
Cuba Gooding Jr. one?
No.
No.
Okay.
American Crime Story. Like the
Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk who did
Yep.
Okay.
American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that one was really good too.
I didn't see
This-
that one.
This one was kind of unique because
Oh my god.
hearing like the side from like Mark Furman and
Yeah.
some of those people was kind of I always like watching. I put documentaries on in the background while I'm working.
Yeah.
I like true crime stuff, so I get
Furman
addicted
just
to that
fucked
stuff.
that whole case up, though. It's like they shouldn't even put him on the job if he had all that.
They shouldn't have put him on the stand.
Yeah, that was bad.
100%.
Twice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They shouldn't have put him on the stand at all.
Yeah. You finished it, right?
I've watched I'm on the second episode.
I won't give the ending away.
Well, OJ got away with it. Spoiler alert.
What? No,
Yeah.
they proved he's innocent.
I hope he's rotten right next to Johnny Cochran, motherfucker.
I know.
Anyway,
I wasn't a fan of Cochran, but
No, it's just
understood.
kind of,
it's their job. But
it's intriguing because,
up.
like, I remember the case from when I was younger.
yeah. Oh, I do too.
But-
yeah,
I never, like, took the time to do a deep dive into
yeah.
it.
There was so many things that never made it to trial.
Yeah.
Like there was an eyewitness to him at the airport dumping a bag, right?
Yeah.
It's like fucking hell. Are you shitting me?
I think it's interesting just to hear, like, kind of the eyewitness behind the scene kind of stuff to it. But
I think a lot of people have theorized, and I think it's. I mean, if those cops hadn't gotten off from beating Rodney King, because L.A., was the riots and stuff. It's almost like everybody needed a win, and if OJ was found guilty, it would have been all over again. Like,
yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those, like, it sucks, but I remember the time. I mean, I remember they stopped in school. They
I was in.
yeah.
We were
Junior high. I was in junior high.
I was a sophomore when he was. When we were watching the trial in gym class, and the verdict came down. I remember I was home on summer break watching the freeway chase
Yep, I remember
with
that.
my, like, neighborhood friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the guy from Naked Gun. I
know.
Because that's all I knew him from. I wasn't a sports
Yeah.
kid, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I knew him from.
Oh, same. Yeah, same. I was like, Nordberg. Oh,
Yeah.
I know, and I didn't want it to be true at the time, and I was actually happy he got off the first time. But yeah, over the years, it's like, holy fuck. I mean, as an adult perspective, you're like, oh, he fucking did it, man.
Yeah.
Like, he had to have.
Yeah.
And what sucks is, like, that, is it Mark, or the guy got killed with her.
Ron Goldman.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were a couple. I guess they were just friends. And he was just, like, bringing her glasses that she left at the restaurant he
Yeah.
worked at. Like, he was just,
He was
Wrong
doing
place,
a
wrong time.
Good Samaritan
Yeah.
act. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else you watching? Anything else?
Still watching Shameless. I'm on season 7 right now. I'm
Excellent.
amazed by how many, like, just random people in there that I recognize from other stuff.
And their private parts.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, in a way it's good, because then I don't have to ruin my search history on Google. I can just ruin it on.
Hey, Google,
Netflix.
William H. Macy, please. All of him.
Yeah, man.
Josh, can I borrow your popcorn bucket?
The Dune one. The guy who plays Ian, I can't think of his name, who was also Jerome in Gotham.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the red-haired guy.
Yep, yep.
He's like, of course, the first thing I ever saw him in was Gotham.
Yeah.
But he's really good, like, dramatic actor.
He's a good actor. And he's the Star Wars game
Yeah,
star.
he also
right?
plays, in Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, the whole cast is good.
How many seasons? This is like 10 or 11 seasons of that show.
Shameless?
Yeah, I think
It
there's
ended,
like 10
right?
or 11 yeah.
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 I think there's like 10 or 11 seasons.
My wife and I need to see that one. Definitely can't have the kids around.
I don't think I finished it, but I know I watched at least the first 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Too many sex scenes, right? You just get tired.
Well,
No. I mean, no.
I know there's a story,
No
but
such thing as too many sex scenes, Josh.
a gentleman never tells.
I'm talking, my favorite movie is Caligula.
Oh, really?
oh, dear God.
No, it's not my favorite.
No.
I mean, it's
You
up
know,
there.
recently they came out with a cut, like what it was meant to be, instead of the, like,
Instead of the NC-17
Yeah.
version or X-rated version or whatever
yeah,
it was.
I think the director got carried away or something.
They're like, no.
interesting story.
This was meant to be PG-13, guys. This is what it's supposed to look like.
I mean, if we're going back to Teaching Mrs. Tingle, I remember at the time that movie came out, I was like, that teacher's kind of hot. It's like, well, yeah, it's Helen Mirren. She was in all these other movies. Should have been in Shameless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I'm watching right now. I'm watching a couple shows on HBO. I'm watching one called The Head, which is kind of a murder. It's like a mystery about a like a research station in Antarctica, and there was these people, kind of the winter crew was there, and when the summer
Thing,
crew,
right?
no aliens.
This is true?
But it's not true. It's a fiction show. But when the summer crew arrives, like everyone's fucking dead from the winter crew, and they gotta kind of piece it together and figure out. There's a couple survivors, but anyway,
Yeah.
that's been really good. That's on HBO or on Max.
The Head, okay.
It's called The Head.
Not the MTV, The Head.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Max Headroom. What else am I watching? I'm watching that one, and I know there's another one. Oh, Dexter, the prequel series.
Yeah, Steve sang that
Steve was saying
praise
that
last
was really
time.
good.
It's good. It is
Yeah.
good.
And Resurrection's coming. Like,
yeah, I'm excited for that too.
I dig how they have that arrow, like for the original sin, the arrow
Yeah.
going that way, and then the Resurrection's going this way. Like, that's really cool.
And the thing that's winning me over with that show in particular is the casting of like young Dexter, young Deb, even like young Masuka is so
weird.
spot
like
on.
they cloned them or something.
It's spot on.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
bizarre, but it's so good, and that's what makes it really good. I think that's probably about it right now. So other than I'm still going back from time to time and throwing on like an episode of Arrow here or there.
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
Still trying to get through that stuff.
Speaking of like things on Netflix, and you mentioning Arrow, I've never watched The Flash all the way through, beginning to end.
Yeah.
So once I'm done with Shameless, it's probably what I'm going to go to.
Nice.
Yep.
I started watching Yellow Jackets. That was on my radar for a while. We're in season 2 right now. It's a Paramount. Well, it's through Paramount Plus. You can see it. It's a Showtime show. Christina Ricci stars in this. She's great. It's a big cast. Mostly people I don't think are like huge names. It's present day, but all of them as kids were in a plane crash. They were a soccer team, and they were going over to kind of like Arrow.
Oh yeah,
They get stranded on some weird.
I've heard
place.
about the show, but I haven't seen it yet. I think is this the second season that's out now?
Yeah, third one. Trailer for the third one just dropped.
Okay.
I'm not watching that yet because
Okay.
I'm sure it's going to give away some season 2 stuff. But
All right. I think my wife may have seen the first.
it's really
season or
good show,
two.
and it's so far it's not terrible with the flashbacks. Like it's
I would say because it's one that jumps around between like them trapped or stranded somewhere, and then them.
and then gradually you find out who made it all the way through because you don't know really.
Yeah, and the Yellow Jackets is like their team mascot, right? Is that
It's their team.
where the name comes from? Okay.
Yeah, it's their team, and so it's like how Arrow did. Spoiler, but Arrow like the first 2 seasons were cool with the island because he's there for like 5 years. In this show, they're there for like a year and a half, I think, or 2. But Arrow was so desperate to keep that island vibe. You remember, like he left the island during that 5 years.
Yeah,
and he came back. Like that's when he lost me.
He went to Hong Kong. He even went home back to Starling City and like stopped his
fucking dumb
a drug deal or it was dumb.
It was
they
better when he
just
came back after 5 years.
Yeah, they should have just had him on the island the whole time.
But that just reminded me.
And don't get me started. I mean, I watch the show and I enjoy the show, but there is no way that you just pulling a hood up is going to like hide your identity from a fucking detective. Like seriously, that's so dumb.
That was terrible. But
I enjoy the show. It is dumb.
Yeah, yeah. I 100% agree. But yeah, so far these flashbacks are good, and it's very interesting. I mean, it's a little spoiler, but it's really getting into like supernatural, but in a good way. It doesn't feel like Baywatch Nights. You remember Baywatch Nights?
Oh God, yeah.
How it started out as a legitimate like detective show, and then they got the X-Files became popular, so like let's do that, and then they started going into it's not like that, but it's not jarring yet. But I am digging it. It's really a great show. Check it out. Plugs. So, Field of Geeks, wherever you go, we're there. YouTube, Facebook, all social media. Check us out. And, of course, we got, a lot of content underneath our banner. One being...
Number One Comics
Podcast.
Starring the illustrious Jonah.
Check us out. We talk about first issues. It's the only podcast dedicated to first issues. All different publishers, different genres. I got some cool things planned that I think we can do. There was J. Seed & Hobby was moving one of their locations from inside a local mall to a suburb, and so they had boxes and boxes. I'm talking like 20 boxes of like dollar comics as it is, but everything was like 50% off. So it was like 50 cents for like comics. And I went a little crazy buying a boatload.
Next 10 years of show planned.
And well, so what I did is I ended up with like an entire short box of so like 150 comics in this thing of like just nothing but like first issues.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we're doing this till we're 90.
And it's nothing that I even like have like a collection of or others of, or maybe it's a duplicate of something else that I have and I just picked it up because it was 50 cents.
Yeah.
But what I think would be kind of fun is if we can like at some point or periodically like just go and do like a random poll and then we read and review whatever issue we pulled out of the box, like on the fly
like
or whatever.
Next time, like what's
That'd
on
be
the
a cool idea. We could do that like at the end of like one
of the
one
after we
episode, just
record
be
one.
like,
So maybe I'll
random poll. Boom.
Yeah.
maybe I'll bring that box when we record the next
That'd be cool.
set.
Yeah, do that.
We'll
Yeah.
pull one random thing out. It's probably going to be a shit comic because the most of the ones that I put in there are absolute turds, I'm sure. But
NFL
there might be.
Super Pro. NFL Super Pro.
I can tell you right now that one is not included in the box.
Damn it.
Because I would have a collection of that one. Would that run for like 12 issues?
Yeah.
I know I don't any longer. I will probably own it again someday.
You gotta do one on the Archie Comics run of Ninja Turtles. Fuck no, that was horrible.
Oh, was it?
No. Like I said, I don't even know what all is in there. It's just a lot of like, it's a lot of stuff like even one shots where it's like a first issue, but it's not even a series. It's
Fabulous
just
first issue. And
an issue.
Yeah.
So I figured that'd be kind of fun to just like pull something random out and do
would
a
be
quick.
fun.
It doesn't have to be a long full review, just a quick hit on it and be like, man,
That would be fun.
this was the best thing I've ever read.
Seeing as how nobody's given us any suggestions in the comments yet.
The hell?
You know
If there's
you
any
are.
books you guys want to see us tackle, let us know.
Yes.
I think
Except for Sandman. No, I'm just kidding.
Steve needs to maybe guest star when they cover your comic, Simple Jack. And
Simple Jack.
I didn't know if you catch that.
We need to do since we had him on a special episode. We need to do a review of Toon Man #1.
That's right.
We should.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you can buy physical copies of it at Ray Gun downtown.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so-
Yes. Yeah. That interview's out there with Alex Daw.
Alex Daw.
Was great. It was great. Jonah did a great job. And of course, Bill did too. And I sort of did my thing. But yeah, it was
Okay.
great.
You
Great.
get producer credit. It's all
Yes,
good.
Yeah,
I do.
You were there. You were talking. You were asking questions. You edited.
Speaking of somebody with a lot of issues, the person responsible for... I'm just kidding, Raven. The person responsible for our glorious theme song for both this podcast and for the #1 Comics podcast, the very talented Raven Xavier. You can find him on YouTube at Ravex Music and on Bandcamp at ravexmusic.bandcamp.com. All of his songs, podcasts are available for download on there as well. And check out his band, Choose Your Power.
Yes.
And
Great music.
Yeah.
Great music. Great insights on what he covers with this podcast. And yeah, he's always
Very
been
much
there.
so.
If we need a theme song, he's there.
Yep, appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And one of these days we'll have him on the show. Plug your other.
yeah, Billy Creston Gaming on YouTube, Facebook. Working on a couple projects right now. And the next playthrough I do is going to be particularly of interest to you, Josh.
Really?
I'm not going to say what it is yet. It's a
Okay.
surprise. You're just going to have to ring the bell icon and get notified when it drops on YouTube.
I didn't know the Oscars made a game.
Yes. Oscar Simulator 2025. Try not to get slapped by Will Smith.
It's like Punch Out.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Nice. Great.
So, yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, guys. This was fun.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in. And yeah, check us out, subscribe, share, all that wonderful stuff. We'll be back. I'm Josh.
I'm Jonah.
I'm Bill.
Take care.
Peace.